Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Odyssey. It's Jason here, back at you with another video on XRP. So we're jumping into the shorter time frames at the moment, as there are some interesting things going on in the chart. So I just want to address what looks like a very textbook head and shoulders. However, I'm not fearful of it. So let's just and we're on the 4-hourly time frame here. It's very clear that there is a head and shoulders, or at least that's what we're seeing here with this formation. We've got the left shoulder, we have our peak where our head is, and then we have the right shoulder. And our neckline is very clearly laid out. So this is a clear head and shoulders pattern. The reason why I'm not fearful of it is because it looks like it might be turning into what is a falling wedge. Because we're seeing a nice reaction from this supporting trend line at the bottom. So there is an argument to say that if we can break out above this trend line here, confirm it as support, then the target will be a technical target to the top, which is about $2.77 as measured from the width. Really, it's to where you start the wedge. So around 260 level is where I'll be looking at as a potential target before we see a retracement, before ideally seeing action continue to the upside. However, if we see this head and shoulders breakout, it is pretty clear here. Then the target for that would be from the neckline to the top, and that would take us down to $1.99. However, another reason why I'm not so fearful of that possibility, so that would take us down to $2, is because it looks like we have retraced back down to where we broke out from. And if I can just get a horizontal line here, it'll make that clear. So you can see that perhaps it'd be better if we jump onto a higher time frame. It looks like from where we broke out, because this is almost like an ascending triangle, and the resistance is up the top. We have higher highs and higher lows. So really, if we can print another higher low here, then we're looking quite good. I'm not fearful of this. This is just, an uptrend since our low back on the 7th of April. So it's looking very positive. And another thing about these head and shoulder patterns is that if they fail in their move to the downside, then what you will see is a fast reaction to the upside. And that works both ways, whether it's an inverse head and shoulders or a head and shoulders. If we don't see the more probable move play out, then what you will see is a flyback where the move will reverse and we'll see action go in the opposite direction. And that is potentially what we could be seeing here if we can break out above this trend line, which would look very nice, and I'd be quite bullish on this. So XRP is still very bullish. We're forming these higher lows and these higher highs. It's very clear. And I imagine we're going to be continuing that moving forward, where we'll see $3 and beyond. It's looking very positive. Let's just jump onto a higher time frame to see how things are going. So you can see the story's very similar. Obviously, we broke out from this trend line here. Let me just draw it perfectly from where we had the Trump pump. And you can see that really what we're doing is we're just retracing back down to this level, and we've tested it as support, which again is another green flag in favor of a bullish upside. Now let's just get up a fib retracement to see where we are on our fibs. We go from a high to a low, and you can see that we're just consolidating above the 0.5 now. We hit our head on the 618, and we're just consolidating above this 0.5. And I imagine we'll probably do that for some time before we break out over the next couple of weeks. I don't think it's going to be that much time. We've been expecting this move for a while now. We've been expecting that this low that we formed back in April was the low. And if we jump into our higher time frames and look at the MACD and what it's doing, we're still seeing upside here. We've still got growing green bars, albeit ever so slightly, and we still have bullish posturing to the upside. Let's just jump onto the 3 daily and see how that's getting on. And you can see that although we've printed this lighter pale green, we're still overall bullish here. We're still holding the 0.5 level, which is a natural retracement. And I do believe that we're going to be seeing higher prices in the short, medium, and long term. Let's have a look on the 5-daily to see how close we are to getting a max E cross on that. And, you know, we're getting there. This is what we like to see because the bearish momentum has waned so much now that we're really just waiting for the bullish flip here. And this is on the 5-daily. This is on a quite a high time frame. Let's get up the RSI to see how we're doing on that. And this is on the 5-daily here. When it wants to load, of course. There we go. And, I mean, this looks great. You know, we've broken above the yellow line now. And we've also broken this trend to the downside. It looks a lot better if we jump onto the daily here. And you can see that we're still forming this kind of channel where we've got higher lows and higher highs. I do suspect that we'll find support above this line here, just as we are right now. And this will give us the momentum to continue our moves to the upside. Essentially, we're in that boring phase of XRP where retail is not in the market yet. They'll be in the market when we pierce through $3 and are in price discovery. That's when retail will step in. However, we need to be prepared for that because there are signs in the market. And for those who are savvy when it comes to technical analysis, it's very clear the picture that is being painted right now. There is so much potential for XRP to have a bullish move to the upside, $3-4 in the very short term. And I expect it will happen by the end of May going into June. I do think that we are on the cusp of a major bullish breakout to the upside, which will lead us into price discovery, which is where those juicy targets will lie. So I hope you enjoyed the video today. Just a quick one, touching on some of the things that I'm seeing in the charts. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.